Hello everyone and welcome back to the Steam Trail Gaming News, this time for the 10th of November 2017. My name is Crozits and I'm here to guide you through the news. So today we're going to talk about three topics. First one is Battlerite, one of my favorite games. It's like a little brawler, it's going free to play. Secondly, Nintendo is planning to sell lots and lots and lots of Switches next year. And last of all, EA news. As usual, because EA has to have something every day. EA's just bought the developer of Titanfall, Respawn. But we will start with Battlerite today. So Battlerite, a little brawler that essentially like the second thing that we're going to talk about is Nintendo plans to have a massive increase in the number of systems that it makes for the Switch. So with that being said, we can probably guess that Nintendo is planning to sell a lot more Switches next year. So it seems the word has gotten out that Switch is actually good. There is a decent number of games available for the Switch right now as well, especially when we go into like the smaller games. There's like a huge amount of them, but even the big titles are currently out because when the game released, there really was only Zelda to play for the most part. Later on, we got Splatoon 2. Now we got Mario Odyssey. I even heard there's a Pokemon game coming, but they expect to sell about 40 million units from April 2017 to March 2018. So that's the fiscal year, and they're planning to produce about 25 to 30 million units during the next fiscal year. So that means from April 2018 to March 2019. So they're essentially expecting their sales to double. And for one thing, I'm really wishing it happens because I think a Switch is pretty good. Though I still think the price should be a little bit lower. Like, not hugely, just like 25 bucks. Maybe 30. 30 is probably a more reasonable number. And yeah, I'm hoping EA decides to go back to the bandwagon because right now they're not making games for the Switch. I think some of their games are really good for it. For example, any Need for Speed game fits the Switch very well. On the other hand, lots of games don't fit it that well. Uh, so far, so good, Nintendo. You've been doing good with the Switch. And I'm really hoping that the Switch is even more successful in the future. And last piece of news for today. EA buys the developers of Titanfall, Respawn. And I'm not sure what to think of this. So Titanfall, I think most people know of it. It's a good game with a great single player campaign. Three, because right now Titanfall 3 was not really that probable because the sale numbers on Titanfall 2 weren't that good, but that wasn't really the fault of the game. The game was good, like one of the better shooters of this year, but the release window when it was released was just stupid. So I'm not mistaken, it was released at the same time as the new COD, which meant a lot of people who just love COD just went for COD instead, and Titanfall just sort of fell flat on its face. Hopefully, if it's EA, they can actually choose a better time frame to release the game, and if they do, I think Titanfall might have a chance to do very well, and hopefully they will actually give a bit more focus to the single player campaign rather than trying to make this like a big esports title, because I think that was sort of their plan, like, oh, let's make this game the next big shooter. And well, people do love mechs. They usually love them for different reasons than to be really competitive with them. Yeah, I know it's not the typical mech game because most mech games are pretty slow and very tactical, while Titanfall is very quick, especially with the fact that you can jump out of the mech and then you're like so quick it's not even pretty at times. But the single player campaign was really well done, and the sort of relationship between the player or the pilot and his mech was done exactly how it should be. And if they can make another game that focuses on that more heavily than the multiplayer, I'm not saying don't add multiplayer, but have it like, you know, that thing that's just there because we sort of needed to check that box. And yeah, pretty much good. Also, I think Respawn is actually working on a few more games. So on one hand, they're working on a VR game, which we don't know shit about. It's just being developed, and what they said, it's secret. So yeah, that's one thing. But a bigger thing, they were actually working on a new Star Wars game. So a lot of people were like thinking, so it's Respawn and they were making a Star Wars game. That probably means that they're making a shooter, right? But Battlefront has that position filled very well right now, even though a lot of people have a lot of complaints. When it comes to the game, it's not that bad. Like, yeah, it's not great, but it's not that bad and works just like as a casual shooter. And that's, I think, what most people want from a Star Wars shooter. They don't really want a hardcore shooter where you have to learn tactics and be super precise. They just want to have fun inside the universe they love. So either they are actually creating a exclusively single player shooter, which set in the Star Wars universe, which would be freaking awesome, or they may be trying a different game format, which would be even more awesome. And if that is the case, I'm wishing them all the luck and hoping to see that game soon, because who doesn't love Star Wars? Today I don't have my Star Wars shirt actually on, but I had it a few days before, and you can see I'm one of the biggest fans of Star Wars. So, one thing, it isn't my favorite sci-fi universe. If you check my name, if anybody knows, I love the Dune universe. I just think the Dune universe is super awesome, and I wish there would be a few games made in that universe that weren't RTSs, because I freaking suck at those, and I would love to see a modern adventure game made from Dune universe. Like, even a Telltale game would be okay for me. I would just eat that up. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today. If you liked the video, be sure to give us that thumbs up. It really helps us. Be sure to subscribe. And if you're watching this on Steam, be sure to give us an upvote. And be sure to follow our blog there. And with that being said, it's going to be it. So see you guys later with more gaming content.